Hi everybody. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that I like AliExpress watches with very strange names. This one's no exception. It's the Hruodland F018. I'd say it's a really nice watch, but hopefully I'll sell it to you, figuratively anyway. The watch comes in one of these generic Pelican type boxes, but there's a nice touch in it. They've changed the colour to red. We'll be discussing colours in more detail a little bit further along. And given the reasonable price of the watch, which as I said is around £100, it comes with a signed guarantee card, which is quite a rare thing for AliExpress. Here's a web page with the current edition of the original Myatech. You notice a couple of things. One is the price, which is somewhat more than I paid for my Hruodland copy. You also notice on the right hand side that even if I had the money, I wouldn't be able to buy one living as I do in Russia. Hey ho. Another thing you might notice about the original is the little arrow at the 12 o'clock position. The bezel on this watch moves, it rotates. And I'll explain a little bit about that later on. I'll do some proper dimensions today, not just on a piece of paper, so you can see that the case diameter is pretty much spot on at 40 millimeters. And the case thickness is 12.7 millimeters, including the, I think it's a boxed sapphire crystal. The lug to lug is 48.4 millimeters, and the lug or strap width is just around about 22 millimeters. The original of this watch was designed by Longines to meet a specification for a military watch for what was then Czechoslovakia in the mid to late 1930s. So this Hruodland contains these rather cryptic inscription, something like Myatech Vojenské Správy. Apologies to any Czech speakers out there, which is roughly military property. And the number underneath is a notional serial number, I think. You can see that the whole case is polished, which I believe is the same thing as the Longines original. The dimensions on this are slightly smaller, and you can see that it has a nice dial with a small seconds feature, and it has those lovely white cathedral hands. I wish they'd loomed the seconds hand though, that would have been a bit of a trick. And it comes, as you can see, on this really nice leather strap. It's broken in quite nicely over just 3 days, so I'm very pleased with that. Now, how about the loom? Well, the loom starts off pretty crisp, but it does fade away after a few hours. So it's a very decent job, I think. Just to check the crystal for you. It is indeed sapphire. The AliExpress entry for this watch puts the dial colour down as red. Well, as you might know, AliExpress includes a lot of what you might call horrendous renders. The colour looks a lot better in real life, actually. Now this Hruodland comes with a Chinese Seagull ST17 or 17 movement. It doesn't hack, but I was able to start winding it in synchronization with the small seconds and the standard time clock. You can see it's running about 6 seconds slow, but I set it on Thursday, so that equates to a very nice -2 seconds a day, which I'll take gladly. What exactly is the colour of this dial then? The AliExpress entry, as I've noted elsewhere, says it was red. However, that's a red. Is it brown? No, that's more of a brown, I think. So you got to hand it to Vostok for coming up with lovely dial colours. I've kind of settled on maroon. If you take the colour as being maroon, from the French marron, being a chestnut, it translates into Russian as bordeaux, which is a bit like a wine, like Bordeaux wine, I suppose. But according to one of my Russian colleagues, the colour can also be said as rotten cherry, which you can see is gnilaya vishnya. Let's get a proper pronunciation of that.
Гнилая вишня.
I think it sounds a lot better in Russian than it does in English as rotten cherry, eh? Despite talking about rotten cherries, I've worked up quite an appetite filming the video. So I'm going to make a cheese and salami omelette with some ready-made mini pancakes. They're called in Russian oladyi. I don't know, I think of them as old ladies, but that's just me being a bit of a creep. What can you do? I think you'll agree it's a bit more grown up than Friday's repast. Just let me demonstrate these as well. Can't forget the pepper. Oh yeah. I love that. Anyway, I'll get this surrounded and I'll come back with a wrap up. Cheers. Well, that's a quick review of the Hruodland F-018. I was going to say it was a plum of a watch rather than a rotten cherry. Oh, it's pretty good. I like it. I should say that this is going to be the last watch that I buy for a couple of months. I'm planning to save up to get something a bit more fancy. Not much more fancy, but well, fancy. So, but I will think of some other content to keep you horrified. Alright, in the meantime, have a great week. Take care. Bye for now.